Alright, so there's a bit of wind noise, so hopefully you can hear me, but hello and welcome back to another video. So today's going to be part 2 of the tray build. I did actually already start a little bit. I only cut a couple pieces of checker plate and stuff, so I'll chuck those clips in at the start of the video and then we'll get into the stuff I'm doing today. But yeah, basically this has turned into a couple month thing instead of just a quick tray build that I was going to do, just because I've ended up going to do some other stuff, like I bought a kayak and I've started going fishing all the time and stuff like that, so haven't really been getting to the tray. But today we're going to start get into a bit more. Might even get to taking the tub off, we'll see how we go. Might take the tub off just to measure up where our mounts are going to be, just so I can make sure they're in the right spot. I do have a diagram that I can go off, but I want to actually measure it off the car and make sure I got exactly how I want it. But yeah, so we'll get into the video. Okay, so been to Bunnings since I filmed that other part, and now I just finished cutting the second piece. Thought I might as well not show it, it's going to be the exact same thing as what I just did, but now I've measured these to where I want them. Just going to get square and square some lines up. This is going to be my headboard. I've just done measurements off the fused fab toolboxes, because that's what I'm going to be putting on the tray eventually. So just use the measurements off that, and that's what we're going to be cutting off, except for I made one piece 50mm longer so that I can have a sit down inside that in the corner, because this is 50 by 50 and that's 50 by 25, so we'll have a little corner piece there that's just going to go down. Alright, so all the headboard metal's cut now. This one's just going to be here just to know how wide this is. You'll see what I'm going to do with this in 2 seconds. But yeah, because I'm just going to start setting it all out now, and so we can figure out the angles that I've got to cut these pieces at. Alright, so I've just laid it out. It kind of looks a little bit small, but by the time it's on the ute, I guess it's going to look bigger. I did go and measure it and it's definitely big enough. That's just the shape of the toolbox though, off the website. So what I've done is I just put this one there for a straight edge, just so I could measure to there. Was I think a 205 difference from the top beam to the 1900 wide tray, which is, yeah, that's what I was going to show you, is this metal bit. All I've done is marked a line on it for where 1900 is, and now that's in the middle. It lines up perfectly in line with this bit of metal that we've cut. So now the hard part is I've got to try and figure out the angle to cut it at, because that was the hard part for me with the tailgate. But yeah, so we'll see what we can work out, but it might not be perfect, but it'll be alright. Okay, so here's what I've done. It's probably not the right thing to do, but basically this one, it's a small enough angle where I think that if I just cut a straight line across there, it's going to be pretty close, but I am just going to cut it a little bit short. My shadow's in the way, just in case I need to do it down there like I've done this other one. But yeah, I think that should be alright. And then so what I've done with this one is, because that I've cut to length is there, so that's going to be sit into there. It's going to come down, but if I cut that on that angle so that it works, it's going to come down here, and obviously that's too much. So I just marked down 50mm and put a line across. So that's where I'm going to cut. Like I said, that's probably not what you're meant to do, but that's what I'm doing. So hopefully it works out and doesn't look too bad. Okay, again, hopefully you can hear me over this wind noise, because it's pretty windy today and it's very hot. I picked the worst day to keep trying to do some of this, but anyway, so what I've done is I just put it how I needed it. It did work, and I've just tacked it up. The camera died after that last clip, so I just went to 7-Eleven and grabbed a drink and then I grinded this down on the edges here and tacked it up, and yeah, now ready to start welding this together for the headboard. Oh, I just welded this piece on there, it's not staying on there, that's why it's one little tack. Just because I was having a little bit of issues trying to keep it straight, it just kept moving on me. But yeah, it's all good now, and it's the same distance top and bottom, so it's all good. But yeah, so start welding these pieces up now. And yeah. Okay, so now as you've seen, I welded the front and the top, just like on that corner and these little bits. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the little tacks that are on the other side of this off, and I'm going to move it up to that corner bit. I'm going to weld the corner with that in it, so that's going to be the end of my checker plate for the board on the headboard. The checker plate's going to come up and weld onto here, so we're going to have it, yeah, in line with that little piece there. And then we'll try and weld in those little corners, and we'll cut this piece off because we won't need it anymore, and then we have to cut a notch out of there and put it on to do that. But Craig's going to come over, and I think we're going to try and take the tub off just so we can measure it up. So yeah, we'll get into doing that now. Okay, so yesterday camera died. Basically I just got this done, like the headboard done. This part obviously still needs to come off. And then I just like grinded the edges down as you would have just seen, and I painted over it with just some rust repellent stuff for now until we go and paint it later on. But we also took the tub off and dented as tub, so I don't want to try and lift that back on. We might end up putting the tray on unpainted today just so I can drive it to work tomorrow, and then yeah, we'll try and paint it pretty soon I guess. But we're gonna get pressure washer and clean all this mud out first before we do put it on. But we just mainly took it off so I could measure these and how high we need a tray each post to sit. But yeah, alright, so now what I need to do is put this onto there and kind of get the height of how long each leg's going to be, but I need help with that. And so until Craig come over and help me just lift it on there and get a height, I'm just going to start doing some stuff with the headboard. Just going to cut this bottom piece off here and then recut it so that it'll fit in the bottom of that, so it'll actually go in between there, so then we have somewhere to weld our checker plate to that we're going to put along that piece. So I'll do that now, and then I might even just cut a piece of checker plate for it and put it in. Okay, so what you would have just seen is I cut these little notches out so that sits 100mm down into there. Just, I don't know, thought it might be a little bit stronger, and I'm going to weld around the sides of it and around there. But now, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and weld this headboard on there. I'm going to tack it up first obviously and make sure that it's all square and stuff, but it's going to be a little bit of a stuff around, a bit of a task I think, just because I got no one to hold the headboard up on. But we'll see how we go, because yeah, otherwise I don't really know what else I could do besides start putting checker plate on it, or that back piece. But it's just going to be easier once it actually has legs to put that piece on, and I can't put this onto there until someone else comes to help me. So what I'm going to do is try and put the headboard on, so we'll see how we go. Might be a bit of a stuff around, but yeah, hopefully it doesn't go too bad. Alright, so headboard's all welded up. Now I'm going to cut a piece, measure that and cut a piece for that. I won't video it just because otherwise this video is going to be way too long and I won't be able to fit anything more than just the headboard into this part 2 of this video. Old mate and his B-double reversing up the road. So yeah, what I've done is I put that little piece in the bottom just so we can put the sheet on there. And then I just cut the, like grind it up and board up, put a couple little extra welds along there because why not. It's actually square, but to be honest, this little piece is a little bit out of square, so when I welded this it must have been back a little tiny bit, but you can't tell by eye, so I'm not really too worried. But yeah, hopefully Craig comes over soon so we can measure up the plates for the bottom, or the legs. Okay, slight change of plans. Just sat it on there, could just pick it up by myself. At the moment it's a lot lighter than this thing, but because me and Craig struggled to pick that up together. But anyway, change of plans. I'm not going to put checker plate on there because that is very heavy. I don't want to stuff around with it right now, so I'm just going to do the legs. I've just kind of sat it on there, measured it. It looks kind of, with the window, it needs to be up a little bit more. I'm just going to send it really, and hopefully it pays off. If not, I'm just going to have to buy another piece of metal. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so SD card went full, so I didn't actually get a video of what I was doing on the freaking tray, but I cut these after I roughly measured them, cut them, and I put them underneath it, and it was very sketchy trying to lift the tray and put them under by myself, but it worked. So now what I'm going to do is get this 25 by 50 and our things. I'm going to cut a 25mm notch out of this, just so that it'll cover that end so we don't get stuff in there and it's rusting, and also because I've measured them to be that long, so that the 25mm will cover over that. And then we have extra stuff to weld as well, because I definitely want these to be strong. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. It's going to take a while because we have 6 of these to do, to cut and weld. So, and then we have to weld them to the tray as well. It's going to take a while, but we'll get into it. Alright, so that's 6 mounts done. Don't care about what the welds look like, it's just going under the tray, getting painted. And yeah, I couldn't be bothered grinding them anymore. But yeah, so that's 6 of them done. Now we're going to get this back off, bring it over and put these onto the tray, weld them up onto there. And then I guess all we have to do is put checker plate on the back tailgate. And we can wire some lights and stuff up. So I'm gonna sit the camera here and I'll get a little clip of how freaking bad I struggled to carry this thing by myself, because I did it before, so I already know how hard it's gonna be. But no one's here to help me, so I've got to do something before it starts pissing down rain. Right, so that might kind of show how bad it is to try and carry this by myself, because it's really lopsided. Like the headboard's all 50 by 50, 3mm, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, try and get these legs where they need to go. I think I've marked them up before. Looks like the texture marks didn't really mark too great, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so thought I'd give you a quick update. I've put those legs on. Camera died again because I need to buy some new batteries for this thing. But yeah, put the legs on. Now we're doing this back piece. Put one side on. We put the checker plate backwards because I don't want checker plate on that part, and we're just going to put the lights on there. We do want to try and get it on today. Without putting the bed and stuff on, but just so we can have lights on there and actually drive the car in case after work tomorrow. But I am going to end this part of the video here, and yeah, we're going to make a part 3. So So yeah, if you liked the video, then leave a like, comment and subscribe, and see you in part 3, I guess. So.